Intimacy is about being present with what is. And I've found that going in the cold water has been an amazing practice for me to draw my energy attention inward so that I'm awakening my cellular consciousness in my body, and also to expand my auric field out so that I become more aware of how interwoven I am in the web of all that is. And so even though my body is feeling this intense cold that, yes, I admit sometimes the first 30 seconds or a minute could be considered painful, but it allows me to expand, like to go inward and to expand outward so that I'm aware of the wholeness of who I am. And so applying that to intimacy is really interesting. So being able to be with what is. So in the cold water, before I get in the cold water, I do a practice to really bring a lot of presence into my body. And then as I'm walking into the water, I feel like I don't, rather than, I've had several people come up to me on the beach actually and say, like, you're not gonna, did you really go in right now? You're not gonna tell me that you like that. Don't you have to, you better get ready to brace yourself, you know, all of these kinds of things. And so their perception is that I am bracing myself. Like even that word, I have the perception that maybe a lot of people go through their lives bracing themselves, like in this constant state of like trying to get away from what is happening, what is just happening. And the cold water for me is a practice of, rather than pushing it away, of inviting it in, of actually really fully feeling the cold. And that applies in my life with everything, because anytime that I feel discomfort in any way, I don't like what's happening. Like for example, right now when I was doing a little bit of exercise on the beach before doing this video, and two people came with metal detectors and shovels and started digging like right in front of me. And I was kind of like, well, that's really annoying. I don't like the sound of that. I don't want to be looking at them. I came here to look at the beach, at the water. And so I just had to giggle at myself because, you know, some people might think, oh, well, I'm supposed to be present, so I can't allow myself to like feel XYZ, but giggle, and that's part of the presence. Like I just let myself feel like, oh, I'm really annoyed right now. Like this is frustrating. Like why I didn't come to the beach for this. And then make the choice to move down the beach so they could do their thing where they were doing it. And so the practice of going into the cold water has been amazing for me for that. And also of the slowness of it. Like I've seen also, like on New Year's Day here at the beach, I'm in New Hampshire, and on New Year's Day at the beach, a ton of people, you know, they decide it's a great idea to do this cold water polar bear plunge. And a ton of people were just like running into the water, like screaming at the top of their lungs, diving in and like running back out to get a towel. And I was kind of like, that probably doesn't feel very good and maybe isn't great for their system. Maybe it is, I don't know. But the slowness of it and the presence in the way that I get into the water, it's a reminder for me that like as I am taking a step forward in whatever I'm doing in life, whatever's happening in life, as I'm taking that step forward and the water is coming a little bit up further on my skin and it's really cold, just being present. And there was a moment in February when I really didn't think I was going to be able to stand it. The water was really, really cold. And I would just take one step and say, okay, I don't have to get all the way in. I'm just going to take another step. I'm just going to take another step. I'm just going to take another step. And I did get all the way in, and maybe only for 30 seconds or a minute that time. But it's the practice. It's coming back to the presence. And I know it sounds so simple, but it's the same thing with intimacy. And I'm referring here to intimacy with life just as much as intimacy in couples. In a couple, like in a relationship, how can I be fully present with what is both for me and that person unfolding at this moment? Not what I planned that was going to happen. Like, we set aside time where we were going to, be together and maybe make love, but like my partner falls asleep. Okay, that's what is. Or, not what I planned, not what I think is going to happen, not what I want to happen, not forcing something to happen. Like, can I be present with what is in my relationship right now? Like, can I be present both with what my partner is feeling and what is coming up for them right now, even though I might feel like I need to lean in and like need their support. Like, maybe they can't give that to me right now. And so can I find my center and my presence enough in that to draw in that experience of what it is right now, even though it might be really intense and I might want to like fly off the handle and I might want to scream, or like, can I just pause and be present with what is right now? And for me, that is really what the cold water therapy has done. And the last thing that I will say is around being in your maybe. Like I was saying earlier about what happened in February, but also like sometimes I get all the way in and I think, oh my gosh, this is like the last time I'm gonna get in, or I'm only gonna stay in for like 30 seconds because I'm so cold right now. And I just hang out in my maybe and get curious, like, well, okay, I'm still okay right now. Okay, I'm still okay right now. And so the discomfort evolves, the what you could describe as pain or like very intense sensation in the beginning when I get into the very cold water, it evolves when I am in my maybe and I get curious. It evolves into like, oh, actually, this is incredibly pleasurable. And so that's a beautiful invitation to become intimate with life, to become intimate with your partner. Just sit in the maybe and allow yourself to be present with what is, and open to the possibility that it might actually become pleasurable. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm delighted that I'm about to get in right now.